Okay, thank you. And please, I wanted to make a request. Can the link for the video be shared so that we can also put it on our YouTube pages?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone according to your time. I'm happy to be here today, and I'm going to be the moderator of this session of today. My name is Njili Irene Mercy. I'm a MIFALI member. You guys will be wondering what is MIFALI. MIFALI is an adolescent-led movement which is coached and mentored by Women for Change Cameroon. And in your mind, you'll be like, how does this MIFALI come about? Well, in MIFALI, a lot of us, as we come as a movement, and many of us join MIFALI in different stages. Many of us join MIFALI in different stages. And MIFALI came about because of angry youth. Like, we were very upset when we met at the pre-CSW, which was in 2019 here in Cameroon, Douala. And we had a lot of angry youths, a lot of angry adolescents who were being refused visa to attend the CSW in 2019 before the COVID breakout. And we had other adolescents who face gender-based violence in school, online, and other stuff like gender discrimination, both home. So we decided that this is a great moment for us to come together and make our voices heard. That was how MIFALI came about, and some other people joined MIFALI after attending some events that were organized by Women for a Change Cameroon. Like, we have the DISHI, which is a He for She program that was always in schools. Some joined after attending advocacy trainings in 2019. So that was how MIFALI came up all about, and we started during the COVID. So at that time, MIFALI, we only focused online. And after the COVID, we find ways now on how we meet, on how we invite people, on how we carry out our physical activities. And at MIFALI, we have our monthly meetings 2 times every month. So I want to say thank you very much to NGOCSW and the Young Leaders and Young Professional Program for giving MIFALI this platform to be able to speak in this space ahead of the COP27. So today, we are going to be talking on how to make a technological friendly society for for adolescents. And we are going to be using MIFALI as our case study, like how far MIFALI has gone when it comes to using technology, how technology has helped us. Some of us who face we face online GBV, how we managed it, and how far MIFALI has gone so far. So for today, we have 4 topics that we are going to be talking on, and I will be calling my colleagues to best talk to us on how we can best make our society a technological friendly one for adolescents. So on today, our first topic, we are going to be talking on addressing and responding to online gender-based violence. I will be calling Sandra, who is going to be our first speaker for today. Sandra is a MIFALI actor. She is a final year student in nursing. She joined MIFALI in 2019. after some of our colleagues were refused the visa to attend the CSW in 2019. So I'll call on Sandra. Sandra, please, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, according to your timeline. So I'm Sandra Ini. I'm a MIFALI movement actor. And today I'll be your panelist and I'll be talking on addressing and responding to online gender-based violence. I'm sorry, because of connectivity issues, I'll have to turn on my camera so that I can easily present. So thank you. And permit me to share my screen. So today I'll be talking on addressing and responding to online gender-based violence. So before the digital revolution, we could only get information through newspapers, TVs, and radio sets. But now with the digital revolutions, we see that we can access this information where we want it, how we want it, anytime we want it, and whatever content we want to access. That is the power of technology. So let's talk about online gender-based violence, which is the reason why we're presenting today. Online gender-based violence, or technology-assisted gender-based violence, is simply violence that is committed fully or partly with the use of information and communication technology. And when we talk of information and communication technology, it has to do with our gadgets, like our phones, using of the internet, using of our social medias, using of platforms and emails. And some of these some examples of online gender-based violence that we identified that are common in our society today and that most adolescents face is cyberbullying. Like, it's an intense form of psychological abuse that targets, or like it brings up an emotion, like through frequent messages. So the victim often gets scared, he often gets angered, he often gets ashamed because of this form of online gender-based violence. Then we look at the most common, which is intimidation and threats, and this is simply verbally threatening someone with harm, or actually physically harming them, because at times it could extend from just being online to being physical. Like, you could say some things verbally, and at the end you see that there's physical actions. So intimidation and threat just simply means you verbally threaten someone and it could actually result to physical harm. And with this use of verbal words, it creates that fear. It makes the victim to feel threatened, and with that you feel that your safety isn't guaranteed. Then we looked at online sexual harassment, which is any unwanted sexual behavior online. And it could be simply messages, text messages, it could be photos, it could be videos, and this makes the victim to feel so threatened and exploited. And some, to an extent, might have psychological disturbance that can often make them feel humiliated and upset. Then we'll look at doxing, and it's simply a practice of revealing private information, like someone's private information without their consent. Like, you just get up one day on social media, you see your telephone number, your bank account, your emails, all those things online. So it's a form of online gender-based violence. Also, we have cyber stalking. Excuse me. It entails monitoring victims' online activity. It's just a form of phishing. It's a form of phishing. Like, you monitor people's online activities, and you start sending them disturbing messages, threats. You could threaten them on how you hack their account, and often it leads to identity theft, because if someone is actually monitoring your activities, they could even get your passwords and hack your account. Then in addressing online gender-based violence, we'll look at it in different sub-themes. First, we look at solidarity. It simply has to do with showing some love, showing some empathy, showing some compassion to the victim when they confide in us. For example, a victim will watch you and say, oh, this is what has happened to me. Oh, you have to welcome them. You make them to feel relaxed, you give them a listening ear, and you show them love, you show them compassion, because in that state, they are psychologically not all right. So you just have to show them love, show them compassion. And in MIFALI, we have our solidarity parts, which emphasize on some of this aspect of solidarity that talks about compassion, love, being one another's keeper. Then we have to look at skills. At the level of the victim, we should educate them. We should educate them on technology. Like, as technology is advancing, so are the risks too with using these tools and devices. So we should carry out digital security training. For example, recently in MIFALI, we carry out the Think Before You Click digital security training, in which adolescents were trained on digital security safety tips, like having passwords, strong passwords, developing good online behaviors, and lots more. They also look at encryption and enabling that all an applications have two-factor authentication turned on. This is just simply a means of adding an extra security to the security that is already existing on the applications and devices. Then most of the applications that we use, we should review the settings, like by customizing who tags us. For example, on Facebook, we could say, okay, I don't want to be tagged on such messages. Like, you should review who can tag you on posts, on messages, on comments. Then also we could amplify tech skills by constantly updating our devices, our applications, because the more you update, the more you're free from some of the threats that were already existing in the current applications that you have. Then also, most commonly, you should restrict who posts on your timeline, because most of the times, aspect of hate speech, which is also a form of violence, is most common in this way that someone brings a lot of hate to your timeline. Then we should also have malware installation and VPN that it's anonymous, like they don't get to see where you're typing from. Also, we look at communications. How can we support the victims of online gender-based violence using communication? We should create hashtags to shun perpetrators, like, oh, there is this common aspect of hate speech, there's this common aspect of cyberbullying. Then we should create hashtags like to shun the perpetrators that, oh, hate speech isn't good, we should preach love and not hate. Then also we look at creating online campaigns to educate the public. Maybe we've noticed that cyberbullying is a very common form of online gender-based violence, that we should educate the public, tell them that, oh, this form of violence do exist, and you should protect yourself by regularly updating your devices, by reviewing the security policies that you have on your devices, by creating strong passwords and most especially passphrases, because they are longer and a bit complicated. So, and to me, as a recommendation, I think we should empower all women and girls on basic technological skills that will help protect them being online. We are looking forward to the CSW next one, which theme is on technology and innovation. Innovation has to do with the current technology evolving. So as it evolves, women and girls should be trained on some of the new changes that have been brought to the new technological innovations. Also, we should develop and implement strong policies that punishes perpetrators of online gender-based violence. And these strong policies should be implemented at various levels and at various countries, and we should ensure that it is being followed. And there should be a guide to really follow and see that, okay, no, this was a form of violence, and they should trace perpetrators, and justice should be served. All right, thank you very much for following, and that was it on addressing and responding to online gender-based violence. Mercy, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Sandra, for your wonderful presentation. Wow, that was really beautiful. So I'm sorry, I have to off my camera because my network is not the best. So next on our panel today, it's Foko Hilax, who is going to talk on technology as a tool to boost education for adolescents. Foko is a 19-year-old MIFALI movement actor studying a second-year science student at Gitam University, that is in India. Foko joined MIFALI after attending the Intimate Partners Violence, which were organized by Women for a Change in 2019. Please, Mr. Foko, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mercy. Thank you. Hello to everyone, and thank you for giving me space to be able to express myself. Please, I would like to start by sharing my screen. Hello once more. So I will be talking around using technology as a educational boost among adolescents. So in today's digital world, by starting, technology has become a vital tool for educational development among adolescents, especially young girls. So MIFALI as an adolescent-led movement in Cameroon at the forefront of utilizing technology to enhance education and to promote social change in their work and the process of impacting young people around different communities. Use technology as a major means. So in this talk, we are going to see how we use technology in MIFALI to do our work, advocate, sensitize, and touch more young people in our country. So I would like to start by begin by the use of technology at MIFALI to do our campaigning, because at MIFALI we use technology to advocate for education among young people in Cameroon. We take advantage of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in order to raise awareness on different social issues and pass on messages messages to young people around Cameroon. We also use messaging apps like WhatsApp and Twitter to be able to coordinate the work that we do at MIFALI. For example, during the COVID-19 period, where MIFALI started all its work, it was unfair for us because it was just our beginning, but we didn't have that chance to be able to meet with our peers daily because of the prevalence of COVID-19. So we had to use new methods in order to communicate and stay in touch with our friends, continue campaigning and advocating for the work that we do and educating young people. So particularly during that time, we organized campaigns which was through social media. We share stories, testimonials, and infographics to raise awareness about the issues, and most of all, encourage young people to take actions in responding to COVID-19 at their own level and also impacting their peers and different communities. So overall, we had over 2,000 young people who were touched by these campaigns that were carried out online on a social media platform and on different platforms, holding webinars and sessions, talking, initiating young people to the new on ways to deal with the new COVID-19 virus that was really impacting our lives. So our campaigns and advocacy work had a significant impact on the education of young people in Cameroon, because we have seen the increased engagement and action on the issue, which has contributed to greater awareness on education, and particularly for the young girls. In addition to that, we also use technology in order to attend and apply for opportunities at MIFALI, because the world has gone to a new level, that is technological level, transforming everything, digitalizing everything, making everything available to us online. So at MIFALI, we use technology in order to apply for different opportunities that helps us better showcase our work and take advantages of online resources like grant-based database and networking opportunity to find and apply for funding, so that we can expand our work and reach out to more young people around Cameroon. So overall, these different opportunities gave us the opportunity to impact more young people, and most importantly, educate different young people across Cameroon. We have been able to also expand our programs to and initiatives to more reach out, and not only to Cameroon, as we had the opportunity to hold different workshops and webinars targeting different African countries. And lastly, we hold a training session which was conducted, grouping young people from all around, from different African countries, including some Asian countries like India and Pakistan, whereby we were educating the young people on how to use technology in their daily life to educate their peers, and also to advocate for a better sexual reproductive health rights in their communities. So this workshop was amazing because we had very diverse young people, and the focus of this workshop was for young people from 10 to 19 years old, and we were happy to see over 37 young people from these different countries joining. And at the end of this workshop, they are expected to go back in their communities to train back their peers on whatsoever they have learned, so that they can continue passing their message using technology. So in addition to that, we also use technology to attend international conferences and events. We are using digital platforms which are now available to us, like we take advantage of Zoom application, Skype, to attend events and engage with partners and different stakeholders in order to make the voices of the voiceless being heard. For example, we had attended different events like the CSW, the Paris and Mexico Generation Equality Forum, the COP, and other international events and parallel event workshops, and all those different sessions where we had the opportunity to join from our different homes, organize watch parties with young people from our communities, so that they also can make their voices heard and also can be updated with what is happening all around the world, so that they should not feel forget. And I just want to share also, this year again for the CSW 67, we again have the opportunity to organize a parallel event in collaboration with organizations like Women for a Change Cameroon and Jeune Égalité ECAS, on the theme building intergenerational feminist movement through digital organizing across Central Africa. It will be an opportunity for us, again, adolescents, to involve ourselves in such spaces, so that we can contribute at a different level and not feel left out in these processes. But unfortunately for us, none of our members was able to secure a visa to be able to attend the session at the United Nations in New York. But that doesn't stop us here, because we will make sure that we will use every means available to us, like technological tools like Zoom and other different applications like WOBA that has been put in place by the CSW organizing team, to make us being able to attend to these different events from our different locations. So at MIFALI, we will take advantages of these tools in order to attend and campaign as if we were physically present, and making sure that we will also organize different workshops around our different regions in Cameroon, to let our peers also benefit from these different events and get their voice being heard all around the world from their different locations. Lastly, I will again want to talk around the different trainings that we usually organize at MIFALI from our different homes again, because most of the things don't usually permit us to be able to travel as young people, adolescents, to different locations to attend trainings. So we use advantage of technology in order to boost our capacities. Recently, we conducted the workshop, as I mentioned earlier, and also during our last convention, we had the opportunity to train our members on how to use digital tools like Zoom application, Canva, in order to develop graphic design tools, and in order to manage the work and make their presence better felt online on different platforms. So I would like to conclude this by mentioning the fact that I want to leave you with some recommendation on how we can continue to use technology to boost education among adolescents, especially young girls in Cameroon and all around the world. These recommendations are based on the experience of MIFALI and the impact that we have seen from our work in our different communities. So the first recommendation that I would like to leave you with is that we should all advocate for policies and programs that support technological integration in Cameroon and all around the different African countries, because we feel that technology is not being used at its optimal level, especially among the adolescents in our different countries. If we make use of technology as it's supposed to be, we will be able to develop and unlock new levels in order to bring our continent to the next level. I also want to recommend the partnership with organizations that provide resources and training to support the use of technology in education. In addition to that, I would like to recommend and encourage young people to take advantage of opportunities that are provided online, such as online courses. We have online courses which are being provided for free so that we can upskill ourselves, and also take advantages of webinars which are being organized and networking platforms in order to meet and join with other young people around the world to communicate and share their experience and domains of work. I would also like to encourage collaboration with other organizations and stakeholders to promote the use of technology in education in order to ensure equitable access to technology resources for all young people, especially young girls, because young girls are usually left out in these different processes. So we should involve young girls at all processes because their voices also need to be heard. And I would like to add to this that there is the need to provide resources for young people who have not access to technology, including provision of devices and internet connectivity, because this is one of the major challenges that we are facing in our continent, because usually we complain about network problem, not having access to computer devices, mobile application. And if we don't even have access to all these things, how can we be able to participate to these different conferences which are happening at the other part of the world? We don't have access to internet connection, mobile devices. How will we be able to access the platforms like this one presently, attend CSW online, COP27 and all the other COPs? How can we participate in this event if we don't have access to these devices? So we should encourage the provision of such devices to young people, and also if not able, during these types of events, we should make sure that us who are privileged to be able to organize things like watch parties, to come to join with their peers, to share and experience together, make the underprivileged benefits from whatsoever we all are privileged to have. And lastly, I would like to celebrate and encourage and also recognize the achievement of young people, especially MIFALI members, as we have always been able to use technology in order to advance our work, take the advantage of technology and use it in the right way, because there is also a recommendation to use technology on the right way. Do not take technology on the other side. Meaning that we should use technology. We should use technology properly without promoting any vice, as earlier mentioned by Sandra, and I'm sure more will be talked about that. So thank you very much for giving me this platform. I also want to thank Women for a Change and MIFALI at most for the empowerment that they have been able to give us adolescents, train us on the use of digital technology and how to design social media tools in order to advocate for what we want to advocate, in order to better pass our messages. We have been able to learn how to create our own contents, create our posts, create our different advertisement tools so that we can reach out to more young people and adolescents in different countries and especially in Cameroon. I want to thank you once more. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Coco Hilux, for that wonderful presentation. I just wanted to add, please, if anyone has a question or anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. We are going to come to the question at the end of the session. So we are going to be moving to the next on the topic, enforcing digital security for adolescent users, and Isama Marie will be the one to give us that presentation. Isama Marie is a MIFALI movement actor. She's a second-year student studying accounting and finance. Isama Marie joined MIFALI after attending the Intimate Partner Violence in 2019. Isama Marie, please, you have the floor. I think her network is kind of bad. Isama Marie, can you get me? Okay, maybe while waiting for Isama Marie, I think we are going to move forward, and when she comes, she can take from there because of time. So I'm going to be calling on our next speaker, Ngala Albright. Ngala Albright is a final year student studying nursing here in Douala, Cameroon. So Ngala Albright will be talking on young people as agents of digital hygiene. Ngala Albright, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mercy. Good afternoon, everyone from Cameroon. Thank you once more for this privilege. Please permit me share my screen for my presentation. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be presenting on young people as agents of digital hygiene. And I structured my work into 4 or 5 different modules. And the very first module of my work is going to be definition of digital hygiene. We cannot be talking of digital hygiene without knowing what digital hygiene is all about. And it's good we know that digital hygiene, it can be good and it can be poor. But in this case, we are going to be concentrating or centering around good digital hygiene because I don't see the benefits that what digital hygiene is going to get to all of us. So good digital hygiene in a nutshell, or online or cyber hygiene, simply involves keeping your devices such as your cell phones, your computers, your tablets, and all other gadgets well organized and up to date with the latest updates and security patches that it englobes. Now, this can simply help you It can help to keep your device running smoother for longer and can also help to protect your device against cyber threats. So once you maintain a good digital hygiene, you are comfortably sure that you are safe from digital or cyber threats. Online hygiene, in a nutshell, is all about the ways you use your device and the precautions you take in order to keep your data and personal information organized and secured online, yes. Now, digital hygiene can be best managed with a combination of good organization and diligent security. So for you to manage digital hygiene, you need to be organized. You need to know what online security is all about. So when you are able to successfully manage your online presence and ensure that your internet security is strong, you have for sure effectively given your device a clean bill of health. So that is what I really wanted us to take home as a definition of good digital hygiene or online or cyber threats. Now, the second module of my presentation is going to look at importance of digital hygiene. And the very first point is to keep your personal data secured and protected. The purpose of cyber hygiene is to keep your personal information and data secured in order to protect it from cyber attacks. So if you have your personal information that you store online, you should understand that digital hygiene, knowledge about digital hygiene is going to help you secure it online because you don't just go and keep data online. The second point, it can also be similarly seen to keeping one's house clean. Now, if you think about this in the same way you would keep your house clean, you can see how practicing good digital hygiene is important because at home, you take time to regularly vacuum the floor, you take time to wipe the surfaces and take out the garbage. If you don't, you'll find yourself having to probably laboriously navigate a messy house. Like every day you come home and everywhere is messy. You have to get in, and because it's your home, you cannot run away from it. It's filled with creepy crawlies that are attacked by all trash. So if you look at digital hygiene in that sense, you will understand that the importance of digital hygiene, you need to keep up to date with your gadgets. You need to clean them every day because they are like a home for you. It's like a house for you where you store information. And if you don't regularly scan for cybersecurity threats, remove old or unused apps and accounts, and install latest updates, then you'll find your devices are not only running slowly, but are vulnerable to cyber attacks. So here we get the importance of digital hygiene. So we should regularly scan for security threats in all our gadgets, maybe all our accounts and everything, and make sure that we always have antiviral or softwares that regulate all these attacks. This brings me to the third module of my presentation, which is going to be tips for good digital hygiene. Now, we cannot be talking of good digital hygiene and we don't know what we have to do in order to maintain good digital hygiene. And if you look at my slide, you see the first point there is use strong or unique passwords. Now, most of us go online or different accounts or different media platforms, and we have one password which we use for different, in fact, everything that we do online. It is not healthy because if a fraudster successfully gets that password, he has access to your entire online documents which you have saved. So what we are saying here is that one of the digital hygiene basics is to always ensure that you are using strong and unique passwords for all your accounts. Strong and unique. Using the same weak passwords for all your online accounts means that if a hacker is able to get into one of your accounts, they can use the stolen password to access your other accounts too. So the second point, which we are going to be talking of, is that we should install latest updates. Most of us use our gadgets without understanding that these the applications in these gadgets needs updates. That is why every time you are on your computer, your phone, or your tablet, you automatically get messages like install the latest updates. Make sure you do so as soon as possible. This software updates usually includes updates that can help to protect your device from the latest malware. So these updates don't only help you in getting extra features about the apps, but they have updates about security policies for the apps too, so that your data online is safe on that account. Delete unused apps. That's the third point or tip which we are going to be taking home this afternoon. Delete unused apps and old accounts. Maybe you've downloaded an app one day just because you were bored, or you created a new account in order to make a one-off online purchase. Yes, people do that. Like they feel bored and they just go to Play Store or Apple Store and get apps. People need purchases and they have to create a one-time account because they feel like they will never have to use this account again. But because of the services that account is going to give them at the moment, they create such accounts. But it's good we understand that once you create these apps and you keep them as unused, they cause cyber security threats. For example, old apps that no longer receive updates mean they are not as well protected as newer apps with more frequent updates. So that is the idea behind it. Like I earlier said on the previous point, once you update your apps, it means you are giving room for more security policies to be employed in that application. So the same goes with old accounts you've created that you no longer use. Now, the next point is you install antiviral software. Installing the right kind of antivirus software will give you an edge when it comes to protecting your device while you are online. Like many internet security softwares, subscription services, they perform constant online scans to protect your devices from cyber attacks and will notify you if they've discovered a cyber threat or a breach at one point. So by keeping on top of the latest online security updates, you are helping to keep your device clean and virus free. Let's put it that. So you never download anything from suspicious websites because these applications, these antiviral softwares are regulated in that manner. So the next point which we are going to be talking of is you never download from suspicious websites. Now, when we talk of suspicious websites, it's kind of which website is suspicious. So when you visit a website and you notice that when you visit a website and you notice that the URL begins with the HTTPS or HTTP. Those are the two common things you see when you visit a website. Now, to differentiate which one is good or which one is okay or which one is not good, like which one is secured and which one is not secured, you should take note that the S here stands for secure, meaning the good websites which you can visit and the secure websites are those that have S at the end. So you visit the websites with HTTPS. Those with HTTP, they are good, but they are not secured. Like cyber threats can easily hamper the data you store on these websites. So if you log onto a website that does not have an S in the first part of the URL, then you should be aware that the website may not be secure and may be exposed to online security threat. Now, the next point, which is the last, but not actually the least point, we should consider using a VPN. The first two speakers have spoken very well about VPN system, but it's good we know at least what a VPN is. And to the best of my knowledge, a VPN is a virtual private network that simply works by establishing a private connection between your device and the internet. It's just the both of you, like your device and the internet, just you two are having this connection. So a VPN is capable of making it more difficult for criminals to track your activities and steal your data by encrypting your internet traffic. So that is that for the good digital hygiene tips. So we make digital hygiene a priority by simply practicing good digital hygiene, which means that it becomes a second nature. It should be something that is part of you. You get up in the morning with it, just like you're washing your hands or you're brushing your teeth. Online hygiene shouldn't be the kind of thing you need to do only once so often, but rather something you need to think of regularly. So by making these tips a part of your digital hygiene routine, you are taking steps towards better managing your digital footprint, which can make it more difficult for cyber criminals to target you. And the last point, or the second to the last module of my presentation is going to be young people as agents of digital hygiene. Now, in the era of digital world where everything from playing games to meeting friends to attending parties and school is online, like, I mean, everything is literally online in this era. It's not like back then, maybe in the days of our parents, where they had to toil, I mean, to get things done. Now we have everything online. It is important for us as youth, for us as young persons, to be prepared and stay or keep ourselves safe from this harsh world, because it is actually a harsh world. We are exposed to a lot. So we should prepare ourselves properly when it comes to handling this data. Now, parents and society and community, we want the youth to be safe and sound, but cannot be around us like 24/7. So hence we simply need to, there is that need to educate them on how to practice and maintain a good digital hygiene. So if youths and young people are given this knowledge, this training, this tool, we are going to practice and maintain it, because for sure, parents will not want us to be exposed to toxic online content. Parents for sure will not want our data or everything we do about online to be exposed to cyber threats. So maintaining good cyber hygiene will not only keep us safe, but also teach us on how to be vigilant while we navigate online. So as of today, young minds need to be protected from harsh online world. Like parents and communities need to all play a role in educating and preparing them, I mean us, on how to maintain a healthy cyber hygiene. So we practice before we preach. So that's a kind of take-home phrase which I'm removing from this module, young people as agents of digital hygiene. We practice before we preach. That is how the young person's mindset is. Once we are empowered, we are going to practice and we are going to preach for others to get empowered. This brings me to the fifth module of my presentation, which is going to be experience. Now, as a MIFALI member, I have had individual experience. I remember like 4 years ago, I used to be very, very empty. I mean, like wide when it came to navigating the media successfully and safely, because I actually lacked knowledge on having a safe digital space. And I had common problems like always having accounts hacked by cyber fraudsters. I will never just sit and go for apps updates on my gadgets or my computer or my cell phone. I just stay, and one time if I'm connected to a free Wi-Fi somewhere, automatically it does the updates. Those are the kind of times you really see me I'm updating my softwares, which is not so. And until after I joined MIFALI and got numerous trainings on online technology and online data management skills, which benefited me um, until now, I have been able to save my data online properly. You rarely see all these trainings online if you don't belong to spaces that can give you this kind of trainings. I mean, like this is not a curriculum. This is not part of a work program that is taught in our classrooms or all of that. So I remain grateful personally to MIFALI for the advantage. Now, as a MIFALI member, it has helped most of our members through most of our trainings. Like most of us can safely and successfully navigate online platforms. And this has helped us in that most of us now benefited from numerous opportunities online without being scared that these opportunities are from fraudsters, because we understand how to distinguish between good websites and those that are made by fraudsters. Most of us now, we school on scholarships, maybe out of Cameroon as MIFALI members. That is because we received online trainings on how to navigate and make use of these opportunities that are everywhere online and not fall into fraudsters. Yes, we have benefited from grants and funding, which I think our previous speaker was elaborating on that. That is because we have understood, we as members, we have understood how to navigate these online websites. And it is not the duty of a particular group of MIFALI members. Once you are a MIFALI member, you are free to table whatsoever granting or funding opportunity, because we believe that you have been empowered with these online technological tips to be able to know which is reliable and which is going to pose a problem for us. So this brings me to the end of my presentation, but I will not leave or hand over the floor without saying one recommendation. We should practice online digital hygiene as we practice oral healthcare hygiene daily. So I plead on everyone listening to me now that online digital hygiene is equivalent to oral healthcare hygiene. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, thank you very much, Njala Albright, for that wonderful presentation. I see that Mary is still not yet back, so we are going to move on to question and answering. So please, in case you have a question, you please raise your hand. At this end, I would like to forward a question to NGOCSW, and I believe Ms. Hurry is here. Please, Ma, I want to find out or know how far the NGOCSW, what are the measures that they are putting in place to see that adolescents around the world, especially in Africa, are being given the privilege, like the embassy granting them that visa to come and attend the CSW.
Hi, Anjali. Hootie is not here. She had to hop off. But I could answer the question. Yeah, so unfortunately, we are getting a lot of emails and notifications and stuff about people in a lot of African countries and Asian countries and the Middle East who are being denied visas, or they can't get an appointment until a year from now. So unfortunately that does, it's just unfortunate. And we send visa invitation letters, and even UN Women sends letters to the US mission urging the different embassies to grant people visas for CSW. But yeah, it is up to the individual embassy, so there's not a lot we can do. But with that being said, like our forum is hybrid. So there is still plenty of virtual participation if, for those who couldn't come to New York. And even a lot of the hybrid events that we're having, like that have in-person spaces in New York, are being do also have like a Zoom aspect or being live streamed. So we're trying to make sure that the forum is as accessible as possible for people, and especially adolescents and other communities who might be vulnerable online. So we do have a set of virtual safety guidelines and also a resource on safety and security at the forum. And I can put those links in the chat for you all. But they pretty much just, one is kind of like a code of conduct. So it pretty much just says, treat everyone with respect. We're not going to tolerate harassment or any kind of offensive comments or language. And then the other one gives more concrete tips and information on how to either host an event securely and keeping all of their participants, safety as a priority, but also how to participate in events and protect your own safety. So I'll put those resources in the chat. And I hope I answered your question, Anjali.
Okay, thanks very much for that. But we would like to see that adolescents don't only participate online, but they are given that privilege to be there for their voices to be heard. That is one thing at MIFALI we are trying to see, that adolescents, their voices are being heard in safe spaces, because they're connecting online. There is no way their voices can be heard. Like, it's good hearing the experience from the horse's mouth. So we are looking forward to see that there can also be some exemptions in the upcoming years. Okay, we have a question. Yeah, this can go to any of the panelists. They say, if you happen to meet the Minister of Women's Rights at CSW, what is the one recommendation will you tell them as a core issue for the CSW? Any of the panelists can answer. Okay, for me, I will go first. I will say one of the core issues for CSW, as an adolescent, I'm talking at the point of adolescence, it's giving them the access to attend the meeting physically, by creating, if there is a probability, creating just like when going to COP, when you get the accreditation letter, you are being issued the visa freely. If there is a way, they can make an accreditation letter where even the embassy itself should be aware, like, an individual coming in with this accreditation letter needs to be given that visa to attend the CSW. So that will be my own core issue that I'm going to bring forward to the minister. So Foku, I see your hand up. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the question. In addition to making the CSW platform more accessible to young people. I also want, as a core recommendation for the CSW, for the different ministers to prioritize the access to technology and digital education for adolescent girls, especially those in marginalized communities. This will require investment in infrastructure and resources and training programs in order to bridge digital division and empower more girls in different communities around the digital world. And in addition to that, giving the different accessibility issue to the CSW, I would like to recommend also why not dislocalizing the CSW process in countries which can easily be accessible to everyone, especially adolescents, because it is not about the place where we attend, but about how impactful it is to the different communities that we are talking about. Because talking about local communities in Cameroon, for example, it is difficult for a local person, a local woman, to meet the requirements that the embassy is asking her in order to attend to these different events and make her voices being heard. If these events were localized to different easy accessible countries, will have the opportunity to have more people engaged, more adolescent and marginalized people who have the opportunity to have their voices heard. That would be some recommendation that I would like to give to the President or Minister of Women's Rights at the CSW. Thank you very much.
Please, any addition?
Yes, yes.
Okay, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Mercy. On my part, first of all, Cameroon has a total population as of now 28 million individuals about. So youth between 15 to 35 years, that's adolescents, comprise. We make about 10 to 12 million of that population. Yes, that's a proportion in that population. So why is it that we have to access international spaces to talk about things that worry us? And the delegation that is going to represent us is favoring just those who are sitting in the offices. Now, what I would like, I would suggest the Minister of Human Rights is that these delegations should be drafted in segments. Like the first strata goes to probably those of them who are up there, the ministers and the delegations. The second strata comes in for women, or NGOs and movements that are fighting for this same cause that they are going to represent us at the CSW. And the last strata should be the strata for adolescents, because we know that most of the times the problem is not wanting to attend the event. The problem is the opportunity we need to attend this event. We don't have that opportunity. We don't have those spaces. And if you don't probably belong maybe to movements and to NGOs that are going to make your way to these spaces, there is no way you are going to represent a fellow brother or a fellow sister whom you know that can probably not talk of for their problems, but you can do. So in a nutshell, I'll tell the minister to divide the delegations that is going to represent us into stratas, where we are going to have a strata that is going to be made up of the ministers and the delegations. We have another strata that is made up of the NGOs and the movements, and we have another strata that is going to favor the youth and the adolescents. And sponsorship, of course, because youth and adolescents don't have the means to provide maybe for their transportation and accommodation and everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Albright, for that wonderful contribution. Please, is anyone having anything? to add to what Madam Zone asked?
Hello, everyone. So to me, I will focus more on access. Like, no one can be an author of your own story. We adolescents we have our own story to tell. Whether an adolescent from Cameroon, Nigeria, Namibia, wherever, we have our stories to tell. So all these restrictions on adolescents not having access to such spaces should really be something that should be considered, because once we access these spaces, we start having other opportunities that can help us in advancing not only our skills, but in creating networks that can better help our communities. So with this issue of access, that you apply to attend the CSW 67 and your visa appointment is after 1 year, after 2 years, or they're giving you restriction based on your age, like it should something that it should be considered. And why not removing CSW from the US, which is very restrictive, to other countries that one can easily access free of charge and make their voices heard. Thank you.
Foko Hilax, I can see your hand up. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, and thank you, Emily, for your question. At MIFALI, we can understand that the concern of feeling being excluded, and we want to ensure that our work and initiative is open to young people from all African countries and including Namibia. So, but due to the limited capacities of MIFALI, we are not yet able to expand our reach out to different African countries, but use of technology. Recently, as earlier explained, we have been able to organize campaign workshop, which was not targeting only Cameroon, but all the African countries, including South Asian countries, to make sure that those adolescents from these regions are not also left out. And also talking about opportunities, resources, and courses, I would also like to mention about some courses that we MIFALI members usually take in order to build more our capacities and skill on the Gishi platform, which is a platform which is maintained by Women for a Change. They provide different courses where young people can take them for free and develop more insight and knowledge about particular issues like communication, human rights, gender equality, and many other issues at stake. So I would also like to share the link to those courses so that you can also get access to them and share also with young people in your community, because these courses are well developed for young people so that they can also upskill themselves. And in case we have other opportunities that also expand our reach out to different African countries, we always make sure that we share it on our social media. So we'll also share the link in the chat box so that you can always stay updated.
Okay, thank you very much for that intervention. So, and I want to thank everyone who will take our time to attend this session. Please, in case there's any question, again, you can just freely ask as we wrap up. Okay, concerning MIFALI, we are currently open for applicants. Hilox, please, can you drop the link for registration for new members in MIFALI? We focuses on the ages of 14 to 19. So please feel free to share with your relative within the age of 14 to 19. And in collaboration with with Women for a Change Cameroon, MIFALI will be we'll be having a site event at CSW on the 14th of March, 12:30 New York time. So please, YLYPs, please, you can also drop the link for that. Those who will not be in New York are free to join it virtually. I think okay, Sandra, someone is asking for your email. They have some questions, I think, regarding your presentation. So please feel free to. Please, I just be patient a little bit. They are going to be sharing the link shortly. YLYPs, please, the link for new members at MIFALI, and the link for those who would like to join us with Women for a Change during the event at CSW. Devin, please, do you have anything to add as we wrap up?
I would just say we are having our last event in the youth preparation series next week on Wednesday, March 1st. And that's going to be a networking session. So we're going to have some breakout groups so everyone can meet each other and chat. And I will put the registration link to that event in the chat box. So there's the link for next week's event. Yeah, but that's it for me. Thank you so much, Anjali and team, for putting together this really great event. Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining, and thanks to NGO CSW and the young leaders and young professionals for giving us the MIFALI the voice to be able to talk ahead of the NGO, ahead of the CSW. Thank you guys so much for this privilege. Us at MIFALI, we really appreciate it, and we are sure we are not going to disappoint you guys for the trust you guys have given to us for this year.
Definitely. We're so glad to have you on the team. Yeah, thanks so much. And we will be sending out the recording of this event to our mailing list and posting it on our YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, thanks everyone. It was a pleasure having you all here, and thanks for your wonderful patience. And please have a blessed day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.